is Robin the Lady Biker. How is everyone today? Okay, no, you are not seeing something weird, and no, I did not trade in Scarlett. If you saw one of my recent videos, Scarlett is in for a little, shall we say, augmentation, and this is my loaner bike. Oh my gosh, thank you Perth Harley Davidson for loaning me this beautiful Street Glide. So I decided to change my plans for the day, and I'm gonna get out and just ride and see what I think. What is all the hubbub about riding these bikes with fairings on the front? So let's go for a ride today. Hey guys, it is the start of a brand new day, and headed back over to finally pick up Scarlett. I was able to keep this girl for a full day, which was really kind of nice. I got to get in a long good ride and check her out. So they had to keep Scarlett a little longer, thus I had her for an extra day. So guys, for those of you that have Street Glides, I get why y'all like these bikes. This is a good bike. Okay. So I know that there is this big Street Glide, Road Glide, Batwing, Shark Nose, friendly tribal rivalry going on, but I kind of get it now. I mean, overall, I am extremely pleased with the Street Glide and surprised. And definitely lots of positives, a handful of negatives, but lots and lots of positives to this bike. So let's go through all those. Positive number one, she handles like a dream. Now, with a 114 engine in her, and this just is my personal opinion, after having ridden Cherry, Allie's Road King, it's a 107 with a stage 1, I don't feel a huge difference in their responsiveness or their performance. They seem to be fairly comparable, and it may be the weight differences in the two bikes. It may just be how the riding that I did on them, but she handles just fantastic. When I need her on the highway and I need to roll into it, she says, "Yes, ma'am, how much do you want, ma'am? I got it for you." I kind of like it. So she's extremely responsive. Second positive that I have found is the balance. I am shocked at how well balanced this bike is. Now, my thought was with the fairing and everything, and especially with it attached to the handlebars, that it would throw off the balance of the bike, but she is very, very well balanced. I mean, there are times when a lot of us, especially, how did I hear Pro Monkey say it earlier, a day or two ago? It's kind of like family. When family does something that's not great, they tick you off. And so that's why some of us are so passionate, those of us that love Harleys, is they don't always do everything right, but getting the balance on this bike is really very well done. Even at slow speed maneuvers, I'm confident at counterbalancing her, which I did not expect. So, rock on. I love the balance of this bike. All right, guys, I am into traffic, so I am going to press pause on the video, and I'll get back to you whenever I am not stuck in traffic. Oh, okay, guys. Finally out of all that traffic and getting really close to the coast. I can feel the cooler air. It is blistering hot here. So where was I? Oh, yeah, positives. Speaking of fairings, this one is so easy to read. I mean, like super easy to read. I mean, look at that. Everything on here is clear. It's concise. I mean, even the electronics and the touch screen, it's easy to reach. It's easy to get through whenever you're underway and all that. So the fairing, which personally, and we'll talk about it more later, fairings are not a big deal for me. You know, having the external sound system and everything, but the way they've got this one set up is really well done, and I'm pleased. I mean, overall, the things that have surprised me and pleased me the most is how responsive the bike is. Oh, there is the ocean. It's a hazy day, too. How responsive it is, how well balanced it is, and the fairing. The fairing is just well done. So, guys, that is all of the positives. Now, as with anything, there's a handful of negatives, and I'm not going to lie about that. All right, so negative number one. And negative number one is something that I say about every single touring model Harley makes. These bikes are not set up for us shorter people, smaller people. I mean, everything from the clutch, which the hydraulic clutch on this is fantastic as far as the pull weight on it. But where they have the friction zone, for me with my small hands, I clutch with these two fingers. That's all I can reach whenever I'm in the friction zone. What else? The seats. Well, every Harley seat is awful. But, I mean, the seat that's on, the stock seat that's on this, is definitely made for someone who's a minimum of 6 inches taller, probably 50 pounds heavier. I mean, just nothing is set up for people who are smaller. Harley just doesn't make the touring bikes for small people. And gosh, riding this bike has made me miss all the modifications I've done to Scarlett to make her fit me. So that's not a street glide thing. That's more of a touring model from Harley thing. I would have to say my biggest complaint about this is how it responds to wind, especially one that's at, like a headwind or close to coming straight on at me. The wind pushes, because the fairing's attached to the handlebars, I feel the wind push and affect the steering. Now that I know it's coming, I can compensate for it, and it's okay. But the first couple of times it happened, it kind of scared me. Ooh, yeah, the wind is up. Look at all them white caps. Anyway, also, this is just a standard straight little windshield, and for me personally, for my comfort, I would need one that's just a tad bit taller or has a recurve on it, because I do get more buffeting on this than I do on Scarlett. And we all have our preferences. Each bike and the airflows around each of us a little differently. But those are just some things that I've caught. I don't like the way this bike is affected by higher wind. That's just me. But the final thing, and it's more of a 114 engine than a street glide thing, is it seems to run hotter than the 107. Now it's cooler now that I'm over here on the coast, but I mean, it's 35, 37 degrees here. So for you in the U.S., guys, this is like upper 90s pushing 100. It's hot. And whenever you've got an engine that's running a little hotter, there we go, it's not pleasant. So those are really my negatives. And the negatives so far are specifically about, really the only one that is a specific to the street glide itself that's a negative is the wind. Everything else is either a negative towards the size engine or about how Harley designs all of their larger touring bikes. So anyway, guys, that is my thought on test riding this beautiful street glide, and I cannot say thank you enough to Perth Harley Davidson for the use of this loaner bike. It's really been a fantastic experience since they've had to keep Scarlett for the length of time they have to do a bunch of the her augmentation and the maintenance that she was needing. So guys, that leads me to those of you who are still watching. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, guys. Y'all are amazing, and I cannot say thank you enough. But for those who are still watching, I have a question for y'all. How many of you have ridden a Street Glide, either test ridden, rented, or owned? And if you have, what were your overall thoughts on the bike? All right, guys. Well, I need to find me a spot to pull over. Ooh, that would be good, but I'm not going to do that. Anyway, pull over and figure out how to get from where I'm at to back to the Harley shop so I can go pick up my girl Scarlett and get her home. And so with that, guys, if you can, get out and ride. When you do, have fun, be safe, and I'm going to catch you on the next video, guys. Bye.